Mr. Hillman, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Davis,
Here.
Mr. Hillsman, here. Mrs. Parker,
Here.
Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Standifer,
Here.
Mr. Watkins,
Here.
and Mr. Woolley.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Move on, approval of minutes for the regular meeting of March 26, 26. Do I have I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move we approve the minutes.
We have a motion and do I have a second?
No second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the meetings of March 26th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those
I'll
opposed?
abstain. I wasn't here.
I abstain, I wasn't here.
I'll abstain because I. Next item, staff updates, comments. Pat, I'll turn it over to you. Do we have anything from Public Works?
Okay, we're back up to 10 vacant positions. 1 mechanic, 2 in streets, 3 in parks, 2 in water, and 2 in wastewater. So that's a total of Public Works departments. We did have interviews yesterday for the mechanic. It's the fleet maintenance supervisor, so we did get some good candidates, so we should have a selection this week and hopefully get them on soon, so we can start that maintenance program for fleet. And once we get them on, I think you'll be pretty happy with who we're gonna select, so. Training wise, total is all Public Works. James Baca received his level 2 water certification, and then seven members of the street department attended the HF Sinclair 2026 pavement preservation workshop at Ruidoso, New Mexico from April 1st and 2nd this month. So it's a pretty good little workshop, you know. Projects, softball complex is still ongoing. It looks like they are laying the asphalt now, so hopefully that will be completed soon. And then road work on 9th Street and 18th Street are both completed now, so hopefully it's a little bit smoother drive on those roads. That'll be my update for this week or this meeting.
Sounds good. Mr. Min's not here. We'll move on to Miss McVeigh. Do you have anything you'd like to share with the group? You'll be on in. This is just staff update, so if you're on the other agenda, that's fine. But
okay. No, I'm just when it comes to grants and project managing, we have a lot of gotta go to the podium. Okay, so we're at a point that we are reporting on a lot of grants going on right now. And we are following up on a lot of grants. We have some time that we're kind of in between on waiting on grants that we have applied for. Capital Outlay has questionnaires that have come out. So that means that we fill those out and then we wait to see about the awards. So those are for the 2026. When it comes to project management, we have one in the works that should be coming down pretty soon. That's going to be the amphitheater in City Park. And we have sidewalk going in at Rotary Park. And that's going to also have stairs next to the skate park. Anyway.
awesome.
Where would you put the amphitheater at?
In the City Park, so it's going to be between the Memorial Building and the baseball field. And it'll be kind of catty corner and face the whole park.
Kind of like where you put the stage at for
Mhm.
when they do
Okay.
heritage days, kind of like right there, that way it's kind of the same.
That would help with a lot of the dances and July 4th deal and Heritage Days and
That is the
Very good. And Mr. Davidson's not here, so we'll move on to discussion and or action items. Item A is review and discuss streets action plan and rating projects accordingly. Ms. McVeigh.
Okay, so what we have here, we are just trying to be proactive whenever it comes to the streets and streets that we have on our ICIP and our comprehensive plan. And so we're asking for them to be prioritized. Until we're able to get our software that tells us the condition of the roads and that type of thing, we do need to, for grant purposes and, you know, for street purposes, need to know your input as to what roads would you rank as worst to better? What should we work on first and then last?
Do you have a recommendation or where you want to begin that? Or do you have a list for us?
So the list that I provided, I'm hoping everybody got
It's the action
the
plan.
action, the streets action plan.
I'll get there eventually.
Okay.
It
You'd
was
think
up,
I'd know how to run the computer.
it's up at the top, Sammy.
So the way that we can prioritize them is structural condition.
It's one of those tabs. Yeah.
It's the one that says mail council iPads outlet.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Now we're moving. Thank you.
We're cooking now.
You'd think since I work on computers all day long, I'd know how to operate.
You just got a picture of them, okay. So, to prioritize them, we can look at things like structural condition, the urgency, safety and traffic impact, community and equity benefits, economic development return, and cost effectiveness and life cycle saving. So kind of look at the streets in those types of priorities. And the streets, you know, Lime, Globe, Industrial, Commercial, Haywood, Avenue A, Avenue B, Avenue C, Avenue I, Gum Street, 17th Street, South Main, Ivy Street, Fargo, Indo, I think that's supposed to be Indio, my bad, or Indo, and 3rd Street.
So you want us to bring this to you next meeting? or-
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So whenever it comes to capital outlay, whenever we have grants like that that say we can work on residential streets and then they give us funding in order to do so, then I have a ranking of streets already prepared for me. So I can pick those and say, okay, the community is wanting these. What can we do with that?
With the deal that we passed the other night, the company that you want to get a contract with that's gonna be driving all the streets, would that help doing this
We
or?
still have to do help doing this. This is gonna be a temporary ranking until we get that in place.
Okay.
So,
Is it possible to get this list emailed to us?
Yes.
Thank you.
and then.
I don't think I can
Joe,
remember
I'm not
that.
sure, but On the street list, do you have it broken
I
down
did.
into sections?
Did you? Okay.
Okay, okay, just
Yeah.
checking.
So they weren't broken down in the comprehensive plan, so I wanted to go off of what the comprehensive plan and the ICIP have. That way, those are already citizen given. So I mean, if you come up with certain sections, please let me know.
You'll email this list to us then?
So are we stuck with just these streets because they were on the comp?
But we're not stuck with them. If there are others, then yes, please add.
Do you have other, sometimes you already have another project going and sometimes you would work in this general area and expand on your project. Sometimes that helps your costs, et cetera. Do you have any of those going on now that you could commingle that helps you, or do you know of that's in this area?
We could look at F. And we could look at M place. So M over by the bus barn.
Don't worry about emailing it to me, it was in my packet.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, you're okay. I don't mind it.
And so you'll need a ranking on the next Public Works.
Yes, please.
Well, I think we'll all got a little homework to do and we'll bring back some discussion to hit on your next Public Works meeting. Okay, next item is review and discuss action plan for large scale outdoor grant project, rank projects accordingly. And yes, and that's the same page. Nope.
No, that's the other one that you had to get to down at the bottom.
Okay.
This will also be something for the next meeting.
It will be, so we're coming into the cycle of outdoor grants. And whenever we do that, then we want to look at all of the ideas that have kind of been put out there for outdoor activities. And we do have to match them with the type of outdoor grants that are available. So not all of them will fit into every category. Excuse me, but there are a lot of projects that have come to us. And there's also a lot of needs for the parks. So within these projects, if you see something that you could add something to it, let's say let's see. Let's say we expand on the pump track. And you see that there's other things that parks need, like volleyball courts. Okay, so can we put into the budget that you expand on the pump track, but also do a volleyball court? And we also need more picnic tables. Can we put that into the grant also? So can we prioritize what you all think is more pertinent to the parks in their needs? No,
One of
expanding
the
the skate park is just an example.
one thing I'd like to mention that I know in some of our parks, but as we do walking trails and stuff like that, we need to make sure that we have ADA compliance with those that we can. I know you mentioned stairs earlier, and that might be it might be for the skateboards, but if when on those parks where we have stairs or stairs, we got to make sure we have ramps and ability to get to those walking trails, and especially our baseball fields where we have disadvantaged where we need that help. So
Yes, sir. Yes, I agree. And walking trails, that is one of our projects that we want to do for the parks. We want to put some I call them inside out sidewalks. So basically there's sidewalks that go all the way around the parks. So you can do like a walking trail all the way around the park. And those will interconnect with some walking trails that go into the park. And they will be ADA compliant, so they'll be wide enough. And they will allow for ramps and whatnot to go into places.
City Park, what is the recenter?
Rec center.
Oh, rec center. Okay.
with solar technology and things these days, there might be some look into solar lights on some of your walking trails and things. We've installed some, they work great. They actually, you can turn them on and off with the remote. Much cheaper and affordable than the old-fashioned lighting system, but those would be something awesome to look into. Light up some of your parks or
Absolutely.
areas. So
Absolutely. I think, what do y'all think of the solar lights at Rotary? Do you think they are bright enough?
I haven't noticed them. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's okay. Feedback is great. So that way, we know, okay, so that company is good, or we need to go with another company that maybe they have a brighter light or a different light. Or the on off. you know, maybe we need something like that so that they're not on all night. They're solar lights, so they will be. You know, and the walking trail, we have solar lights around that area, but they are trail lights, so they shine straight down and they don't impede on the sky.
So we had a working group for the parks, continuing working group, and for like the all park needs, where she listed that right there. That's what we determined that every park needs, those items, minimum. And then the projects are some of the bigger projects that we want to work on and stuff. But yeah, we've gone to solar lights, they're around the both walking trails right now.
Okay,
They
good.
seem to be pretty good.
Good.
And so I think that's the type of lighting you want to put up. Of course, we're gonna do bathrooms and stuff like that for each one, but logistics of bathroom in the parks is crazy, you know that, so
Yes.
it's trying to find something that's not gonna be destroyed right away and it's still usable, so. But yeah, it is a work in progress, the whole plan is still not in. We haven't come to it yet, we'll have a master plan and then we'll have a plan for each individual park itself. And when it comes down to like the baseball fields and stuff like that, you know. This year so far, that's the biggest complaint I've had right now. Is that there's not enough practice space. And if you can't get there early, then you can't practice, so. Like the lights here at City Park, we do rotary and all that, check on all those and all that, so. I think that would be a pretty good high ranking project that we need to get done. I know it's not getting done this year by the time the season's over, so maybe it'll be one of our goals for next season. Stuff like that, but yeah, this is a work in progress. The whole plan.
Morrison Park.
You talked about a couple of meetings ago, your vision for these parks in the future where you would have a pickleball area in
Yeah,
one park.
so our total vision is, you know. Like say we want a volleyball court in City Park, we make one here in City Park, but if we want multiple stuff. Like if we want multiple pickleball courts, I'm thinking we should utilize our sports complex and utilize that area as. Our main thing for the like 4 or 5 pickleball courts and stuff. And we can start promoting that and having tournaments in different areas out there. That way, in the center of it, we can build one good parking lot with nice bathrooms and all that. And have all the fields around them, and then. You know, I want to build a little league baseball park out there too also, so. That's my vision for the sports complex, is have all the multiple things courts out there. And then put individuals out in our regular parks. Like the basketball court, just one and then one over here.
Have you been to, and I just see it every day. Have you been to Logan yet, New Mexico? They got a huge grant and they're building from the ground up a sports complex. You might talk to Rodney Paris and just kind of see what they applied for. Because I mean, theirs is, like I said, they are starting dirt work ground up and they're building basketball courts. They've got an indoor building so far. I mean, it's not operational yet, but you might talk to him and see that. And then the other thing I was going to ask is, this kind of came up with the county and some of the work that they're doing on the fairgrounds. Is there the opportunity with, say, some, either out at the sports complex or with some of the baseball fields here, banners and opportunities for businesses in town to help offset some of the costs? So they might buy a banner and the initial cost is whatever. Maybe, you know, there might be a business in town that builds banners and maybe they'd be willing to work with some of the businesses to, you know, to offset some of the cost, and then they pay a monthly fee for that advertising, or, you know, or they get a break on the yearly fee. That's just some of the things that the county is looking at too for the fairgrounds. So really nice sturdy banners that stay up all year long. So it doesn't matter if it's a baseball game, a softball game, little league, if we bring in a tournament from out of town, you've got restaurants out there. We've talked about livestock feed and that kind of stuff out there because but just something else to look at too. Another way to generate some monies to offset some of the costs of some of the things that we want to do.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
definitely talk to procurement and.
Okay,
finance
perfect.
and see what we can do with that.
Okay,
And, you know,
perfect.
just kind of follow some rules and regulations and make sure. we stay-
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Good
You're welcome.
discussion.
I don't see it listed, but just for conversation, where does this building fall in line with our parks? This
Where-
building.
Oh, this building?
I mean, it's been a long time since this building has been available to the public. It was built by the veterans for the public and given to the city. Yes, ma'am.
I do not have the answer.
Chris has an answer.
You gotta come speak at the mic.
You gotta come follow your own rules.
Camera, what up? Okay, so this building's not rented because of electrical issues. So until we fix the electrical issues in this building, we can't rent. The fire marshal came through and Kelly is working on it right
Oh,
now.
awesome. Okay.
So that's gonna be a process.
It is
Okay.
a process now to get this back online.
Yes, it's gonna take a little while, but the fire marshal came through, we've got a lot of electrical to fix.
Yeah, over my lifetime, this has been an important area, an important building for our community. All different groups using this for all kinds of different events, so. Family reunions, everything, what it was put here for.
Yeah, and that's why it came off of being able to rent because of the electrical issues. And then Kelly had a fire marshal come through about a month ago.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, about a month ago, and so we have a roadmap, we just gotta get there.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you,
And
Chris.
even before this building, the old one that sat right in the parking lot next to the swimming pool that burned down.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to prevent.
So they did that inspection, and one of the things was the inspection of the fire alarms and all that stuff, so we got that completed. And Steve was working on electrical, getting us a quote to get the electrical done, so it's in the works, hopefully we can get that accomplished soon.
Yeah, once we do that, I think we need to make sure those fees are basically just what it costs for maintenance and cleaning, because it was built for the community. They need access to it without it being financially a problem also. Thank you.
So the larger projects that we're looking at are things that have come from the community and things that they have wanted. Like a rec center or a pool or a phased rec center / pool. And that I do have a quote for design for that. Many bike trails, and that would be like behind the walking trail. Or trial motorbike obstacle course, that would be out at the airport. Add to the pump track or the skate park. New playgrounds, so if we were to replace the playgrounds that are at the parks, because a lot of them are older. Then that's one of them that we could add other items to. So we pick a playground or we pick a park. And we could make that grant have a bathroom and a new playground and some shade coverings, that type of thing. Or we could pick a couple of parks and see if we can put new playgrounds in a couple of parks. And sometimes grants work that way, sometimes they want you to stick with one park. Baseball fields with lighting, and I do have a quote for the lighting for the Rotary baseball fields. And a new Little League complex, which is what Pat was just talking about. So, just kind of be an extension off of what we already have, but large and have all kinds of stuff out there for everybody.
The Little League Park, are you talking about adding on to the fourplex out there?
Yeah, the fourplex right now is mainly built for adults. It's large, the Little League has to go put temporary fencing in just to play. So I really want a complex for the youth in the family or in the town. And I wanted to make it nice enough to where we could actually start holding tournaments here in Roosevelt County. If we can bring people in for tournaments, that brings dollars into our county. So that's my main vision, is trying to make it as nice as we can and try to see if we can hold events like that. They started holding Gus Macker now when they're partying with Eastern to do it in the parking lot, so that gives some money. But if we can have a few tournaments and then start at the same time focusing on the adults and getting that part fixed up so we could hold tournaments there too, you know, Clovis has huge tournaments and that brings in a lot of tax dollars when they hold those tournaments, but they hardly ever come into Portales, so we need to get them in Portales and start spending money here in Portales. So that's one of my visions for that complex, is to be able to start eventually holding tournaments, but making it as nice as possible, you know, I think it's been long overdue for our kiddos playing in fields, you know, that are not that great. So that's my vision for that.
And one of the things that we want to ask you all to look at whenever you're looking at these items is look at it economically as well. So, you know, going off of what Pat is saying is, what can it do for our city? And what will people think of whenever they think of our city, whenever you are coming up with these either ideas or these rankings? You know, what do you want them to come to? What do you want them to see? And if you have new ideas, please bring them forward. I'm open.
Well, years ago, Lindsay Park was the Pee Wee League baseball, and Rotary was the Little League, and Morrison was Babe Ruth Park. Yes. And
We've been trying to answer that.
and Morrison Park has not had any attention to it in years. It's
Well, a lot of the parks are.
right.
You know.
And then-
Park, I played there and fencing was still the same since I played there.
Yeah.
You know, it hasn't changed, so.
In this park here in the city park was mainly for the adult softball league. And-
The largest softball, men's softball tournaments in the state here for decades.
Really?
In City
Yeah.
Park, and they used it in Morrison to play.
They had nationals here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did they bring that in?
It was a fast pitch deal. It was Larry Powell and his crew. And they did it, played this park and they played out at Eastern.
In Morrison.
And they were just,
Isn't that cool?
Very.
They played every Friday night and Saturdays and some too.
So that affects everything with these tournaments, you know, our hotels get. booked up, our
Absolutely.
Restaurants get used, you know, so that's kind of the vision of trying to get back to there. I know it's a lot of work to get to that point, but we gotta start somewhere. So, like,
Yep.
we're at the beginning right now, and I think we can get it done.
And this is just a small part in helping other departments be able to build on what's that through. So.
irrigation's gotta be number one. You can't do nothing without irrigation.
Absolutely, so, you know, as long as line with the irrigation for the parks, we should have our corrective action plan completed by mid-May. So next month it should be, and then we can see where we're at with everything. And once we get that plan, we'll know, we should know a timeline of when we're able to get that back on. Get the reuse going.
And well, y'all nearly got the city park done on sprinkler system.
Yeah.
It's looking a lot better.
It's
Of course,
getting there,
that
you know.
flood that we had from the broken main, you can tell where the water was. It's green. It greened up overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bad thing is it was in control.
Yeah. It didn't go exactly where you wanted it to go.
Yeah, so, but. No, you know, eventually we want, this time of year, we want a park stream. We want people in the parks, you know, I look around, and we have picnic tables, but you don't have no shade for people to actually have a picnic out there or a barbecue, so. I wanna get back to that and get people using our parks again.
Mhm. And we're working on the infrastructure, we're working on the roads, we're working on the playgrounds, you know, getting to the parks, all that kind of stuff. And that really helps economically in all the ways, and it helps with property values. So, I mean, it's, you know, it looks like we're just focusing on recreation, but it's bigger than that.
Do you have a priority of your parks? This one's number one, this is number two, this one's number three, this one's number four.
Not really. Not a priority. Just basically priority for irrigation, we have a priority, Comfort Park was number one because it's gonna be the easiest one to hook up. Our guys can do that, minimum cost. Lindsay, we thought was number two, but now we found that we have a main line that goes right through the middle, so we're gotta be very careful with that one now. Yep.
Rotary. Same.
Rotary, I think we're gonna do a complete just rebuild on it, just to be 100% sure we're not going into cross contamination of the lines. And then, of course, we're looking at Morrison too. After that, and I think we've already worked with engineer for the dog park, or Chiefs Park, as I call it. Yes, so just for the irrigation, but as ranking as far as this stuff, no, I'm trying to put all the pieces together as we go through and get different things. I know Confer Park has probably don't have as much of it as else.
Can I ask where that is? I'm gonna be the person that says,
Concord?
yeah,
Okay, so it's on the north side and it's off of Line, and it's like way.
Okay, it's like 2 blocks north of Lindsay Sanders, and
okay,
then Lindsay's on the.
okay, okay. I think I know.
Where they say they live in their house.
Yes,
Across the street.
okay. Okay,
Yeah, it's cute.
yeah.
And the dog park, the rules are up and the gates are chained, so you can utilize the dog park. We are still getting certain things into the dog park, but so give us some time on that. But it is
And where's it at?
the Cheese Park. Would it be that? So, Umbrella Brother.
Okay.
What's that other one?
Oh, yeah, okay, I know which one you're talking about. Okay, perfect.
You know why it's called Cheese Park?
Oh,
Because of the playground equipment, it looks like Swiss cheese.
It's the playground equipment.
Oh.
They used it, so they, I don't know if they still have it, they were bright yellow.
Mhm.
Bright yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't,
So that's some of it.
how funny.
They didn't take it all. Other people are still attached to it on the other side. And stuff, so not with the dogs.
Is there gonna be a ribbon cutting or something for the dog park, just so people are
It's
aware
actually open.
that it's
Yeah.
open?
And they know where it's at, cause nobody,
That's,
I can get with Quayle and find out. Mhm.
well, the next item is any future items for the next agenda, and I'll go ahead and start it. I believe we need an action plan for streets and ranking, and also an action plan for ranking of the large scale outdoor projects will be on the next agenda. And then anything else anyone might have at this time?
No.
Not at this time. Well, without further objection, I'll adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.